It's time now for Futures in Focus. Oil is falling as President Trump says Saudi Arabia's crown prince denies his kingdom's involvement in anything to do with the disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi Arabia opinion columnist for the Washington Post, who went missing in the Turkish consulate. The Saudi Arabia consulate in Turkey. Let's get to Paul Nolte of Kingsview Financial at the CME. Paul, let's talk about oil prices and whether they're attached to the story or whether they might be in coming weeks.
Yeah, they may be in coming weeks, but certainly we're not seeing that reaction today. And energy prices have actually been trading down over the last couple of weeks after expressing some very good moves. We had a 15–20% move higher over the last couple of months. So I think really all we're seeing right now is a little bit of a corrective activity, but we would have expected to see a little pop higher on some of the saber rattling, if you will, between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. So again, kind of quiet in the energy market, not a lot of reaction there.
Okay, so Paul, where is the action this week? We had quite a whippy week last week and equities seem to bear the brunt of it. Will we see some dollar movement this week?
We should see a little bit of dollar movement. We're seeing it a little bit weaker. We've seen it a little bit weaker here in the last couple of days. We think that's going to continue. Longer term, we're seeing probably a little tighter money from Europe, maybe a little bit easier money talk with the markets coming down here in the U.S. And I think that'll lead to a little bit of dollar weakness in maybe the weeks ahead as hopefully the Fed maybe rethinks some of their interest rate policy.
And then a quick one on rates, Paul. We're seeing the 10-year at 3.15. It came back off that the 324 and is sticking around the 315 now. What are interest rate futures traders saying this Monday morning?
Yeah, no, they're still looking at higher interest rates. You know, again, as I mentioned, the Fed is on that path. They've been on the path for a year and a half. They haven't deviated from it. And at least from the talk from Powell a couple of weeks ago indicates they're not likely to change. So we'll see the hike in December and probably 2 to 3 more next year unless we get a market that really falls apart. But that would require a 20% drop, which we don't see right now.